everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Theme Parkers Podcast. My name is Aaron, and I'm joined this week with Sarah.
Hello.
Brian.
Hey.
And Brett.
What's up?
Okay, so we're going to start a new series kicking off this week, and we're going to be covering all the resorts in Walt Disney World. But for this week's series, we're going to be going over the value resorts. And the value resorts that we're going to be going over are the All-Star Music, All-Star Movies, All-Star Sports, Pop Century, and the Art of Animation. So each one of us here in the group went over their own topic per resort. And so we're just going to break it down that way. We'll start with whichever one we want to, and then we'll just round table it and then move on. So, Brian, what was the topic that you're going to be doing?
I've got the rooms, the actual resort rooms.
And Brett, what do you got?
The amenities, like the pools and stuff you can do at the hotels.
Sarah?
Transportation.
Ooh. How to get to and from.
Yes.
And I have food. So, yeah. Gang, which one do we want to start with?
I feel like
You wanna start?
transportation will be...
Well, no, which resort?
Oh, what resort?
Yeah.
Oh, All-Star.
Just clear out all the All-Star ones first.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Okay, cool. Then let's start with the All-Star Music. And let's start... Who wants to go first? Do you want to start with... Brian, do you want to go ahead and start with rooms?
That's fine. That'll
All right,
work.
let's go. All-Star Music rooms.
All right. The rooms at All-Star Music, there's 2,000 rooms in 5 sections. The sections are divided up by different types of music: rock, calypso, jazz, Broadway, and country. Each room has a maximum occupancy, gosh, that was hard to say, of 4 plus a child under 3 in a crib, or a occupancy of 6 in the family suites. And that was one thing about the All-Star Music, is they've got the standard rooms and they've also had the family suites. And but in the family suites you can have 6 people and then also 1 child under 3 in a crib. The standard rooms are pretty much the same as you would find at any of the other All-Star Sports too. There's really no difference in those. The big difference about All-Star Music is they have those family suites, which they sleep up to 6 guests. The main seatings area has a TV, a sofa. The sofa opens up into a double bed. There's also a chair and an ottoman that open up, then they convert into a single bed for each. So that gives you 4. And then on top of that, there's a master bedroom off of that has a queen bed, and then also a desk and TV. So that'll give you your occupancy of 6. But other than that, in those family suites, they've got a little kitchenette. It's got a microwave, the mini fridge, like just about every other hotel has. But that's pretty much the All-Star Music rooms. The theming in them is pretty basic. I mean, they still have the carpets. They haven't had the new upgrades. But as far as the theming and the amenities of the room, they're pretty much the same as all the values. You've got your sink, separate bathrooms, toilet and shower area.
Now, what about, because I know that, it was late last year, mid last year, I can't quite remember, the soaps and all that stuff. Is that hit the value resorts or not?
No, not yet. They still have the individual soaps. They haven't gone to the dispensers yet. I think some of the moderates have got them.
All right.
But they haven't hit the values yet.
I wonder how that's working out, because I haven't heard anything since all that news broke that they were taken away. And what we're talking about is in all the hotels throughout the whole property, whatever room you came into, you got your own shampoo, little conditioner, little body lotion, and little like mini a hand soap, and then like a body soap. And one of the best things to do is that if you're a Disney fanatic, typically you wouldn't even use it. You'd bring your own, and you would just stockpile all your shampoos and bring them home for little souvenirs. but it was mid to late last year. It was like breaking news that they were going to start actually putting in some of the resorts in the rooms shampoo, conditioner, and soap dispensers. So they were taking away all these little tiny like souvenir ones and replacing them with these refillable ones. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. I want to say I saw somebody post something somewhere on Twitter or Facebook or something about Pop having them and them getting ready to be installed. But since then, I haven't seen any photos of them, so I don't know if they weren't.
Yeah.
But I know it's more common at the moderates right now.
Okay.
But at All Stars, the family suites are the big difference at the All Star music. Other than that, the standard rooms, once we get into sports and movies, we'll talk about the standard rooms, because the standard rooms across all three are pretty much identically the same.
Okay. Brett, do you want to move on to amenities, sir?
Yup. All right. So the amenities at... I said that wrong, didn't I? Amenities. The amenities at All-Star Sports are the pools, the movies under the stars, the jogging trails, playgrounds, and arcades. There's 2 pools. One of them's name is Calypso. It's a colorful pool. The 3 Caballero statue is in the middle, and they play their music to the speakers around the pool.
That's cool.
Then the piano pool is a pool, and the floor on the bottom is done up like a piano, and then the bricks on the side or the tiles have piano keys on them.
That's awesome.
Then
Is one of those like a feature pool, or are they both just
the Calypso pool.
Calypso pool?
Then the movies under the stars it's located in different places outside. Find out where it is in the middle of the hotel. But you can watch different Disney movies, and they'll tell you what night, what movie to play. Then you can run on the jogging trail for a 1-mile jog around the All-Star music. And they got a playground. It's a normal playground, but everything has like music instruments themed to it. And the arcade is a normal arcade, and there's more music games in that arcade than the other arcades in different hotels.
Very nice. Did you have
Yep.
something you want to say?
No.
Oh. You did the...
Well, no, I was thinking of something, and then I just lost it. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Is the running trail, is it like marked, like something they advertise that you can do?
Yeah, it's like when you first come out of the main building, the lobby, it's right outside the door to the left. It's a big sign, tells you about the New Balance running trail.
Oh, okay. They have those at a lot of the resorts, I think, now.
Yeah.
They got them at like all of them?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them, I looked at most of the maps of it one time before. Some of them are like really confusing looking. It looks like you could get lost really easy. But then some of them, like Boardwalk, is just one big circle.
I'm sure Port Orleans, Riverside is pretty confusing. All those like ins and outs everywhere. But New Balance makes the shoes for the Run Disney event, so that's cool that they're doing those trails or whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, transportation.
Oh, transportation. There's so much to talk about. Not. All right, so we're talking about music, right?
Yes,
All-Star Music. There's a bus stop at each All-Star resort, and the one for music is right outside Melody Hall, so that's where you can catch the bus. The crappy part about All-Star is sometimes at night when you're at one of the theme parks, sometimes the buses are shared, so you could get on a bus and have to go to every single All-Star. But yeah, buses. And then, I guess you can count Magical Express as transportation. So if you're staying at the resort, you can catch the Magical Express from the airport to your resort, and then vice versa, from your resort to the airport. That's offered at every single resort.
Very nice.
The thing about the transportation is it's really not as bad as it sounds sharing the three, but it's confusing because you feel like you never know if you're going to stop at the other hotels or...
Yeah.
When you think, okay, we're going to leave and go straight to the park, now you got to stop at the other two.
Yeah.
After you've been in the park for 13 hours. The last thing you want to do is be on the bus for 2 more stops.
Yep.
Okay, I guess we'll move on to me. I was in charge of food. So at the All-Star Music, the name of the food court is the Intermission Food Court. And there it's quick service dining. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's open from 6 to 12 a.m. 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. They accept the Disney dining plan. And they're considered quick service and snack credits, so not like any other type of credit. Those are your only credits that they're gonna use there. And they also accept the Tables in Wonderland. Now, as far as food goes, for the music, I didn't notice anything totally different from their menu as opposed to the other 2 All-Star Resort menus. And until we get to the sports menu, I did notice something, and I'll point that out. And it is kind of interesting. But, I mean, it's your basic fare, quick service fare. But, I mean, the menus are pretty long. And it's typical quick service. You grab a tray, you walk up to whichever, like, type of cuisine kiosk that you see. They'll have, like, 5 or 6 different options at each little, like, area. You go pick what you want. They'll make it right in front of you. Serve it to you. It's like cafeteria style. And then you go pay for it, sit down, and you're good. But some of the things that stuck out to me, and like I said, a lot of these things are the same at all the All-Stars, are the bounty platter, the chocolate chip pancakes, and of course the classic, and this is the one I always get, is the Mickey-shaped waffles. Even though I'm 32 years old, I gotta have me some Mickey-shaped waffles, no matter where I am. And then another thing that stuck out for me was that at the music, they have a bunch of, excuse me, I swallowed wrong. Like Mexican-type salads that they don't have at some of the others. Huh. Yeah. And they have a foot-long chili cheese hot dog as well, so, woo! But yeah, that was pretty much for food. I mean, there's a lot to choose from for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, that's what I had for food. Now, there's obviously going to be a pool bar near the Calypso pool. They're going to serve cocktails. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that do we know if they serve food or not? I can't remember at those pool bars.
I have no idea.
I don't think they do.
It's only drinks, right?
Yeah.
I think it's only at, like, deluxe resorts where they have, like, food and snacks and stuff.
Well, because I remember,
they might have some, like, bags of chips. I want to say at one time I saw, like, maybe you could get, like, some bags of chips there, but that's about the extent of it.
Yeah, well, I thought, and I know we're not on moderates, but I remember at Riverside going to the pool, I remember getting a hot dog from the bar.
Yeah.
But that could just be a moderate thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Muddy Rivers does have a menu of actual, like, sandwiches and things.
When we went to the pool at Pop, I saw people coming with, like, French fries.
Yeah, but they were probably getting those from the food court.
No, they got them from that bar thingy.
From Pedals?
I don't know the name of it. It's next to a ping pong table.
But okay.
I don't know. That pool is freaking cute.
Oh, with the statue. Is that the same statue as ours that we have down? No, almost.
It's a little different.
Guns.
That's
cool.
so cute.
That is cute. You know, like, all of us have been to Disney a ton. We know Disney. So, like, we kind of look at the All-Star Resorts as like, yeah, we won't stay at the All-Star. But, I mean, after kind of doing research and then looking at all the pools and the statues outside.
Oh, the theming's great.
The themings they're great. It's just we know from experience that, like, you go to the All-Star, any of the 3 All-Stars, if you want to be there with a bunch of, like, touring groups, or if there's, like, a big sports competition, or any large, loud groups, those are the people that stay there.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do our pros and cons at the end, and that's definitely a con of staying.
Yeah. There's really nothing... There's nothing about the resort that is not why you want to stay in it. It's just the amount of people or the groups, like you said, that are there.
Okay. So out of the All-Stars, which one do we want to go with next?
Let's just do movies.
You want to do movies?
Mm.
Okay, Brian, we're going to go back to you, and we're going to do All-Star movies.
All right. Pretty much all-star movies and all-star sports, they're basically identical.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as the actual standard rooms, all-star music that we just talked about, the standard rooms are all the same. So I've got a lot more information on these. So first off, for all-star movies, they're divided up into 5 themes. You've got 101 Dalmatians, Love Bug, the Mighty Ducks section, the Toy Story section, and the Fantasia section. As far as the theming in these, it's your standard value resort theming. The only difference is, like, the light fixtures are more movies themed, so you have popcorn buckets and stars. But as far as the rooms by the numbers, there's 1,920 resort rooms, 384 in each of those 5 buildings. So each of those 5 sections has 384 rooms.
Wow.
96 of those rooms are handicap accessible property-wide, and then 960 of the rooms have connecting doors.
Wow.
Each of the rooms feature 2 double beds, and that's one of the things about the All-Stars. They've got the double beds. They're the smaller of the beds. Pop is converting theirs, but we'll get to that a little while later. But they've also got some rooms that have a king bed, but the king bed rooms are set aside for the handicap accessible rooms. You can get them, but they're mainly set up for the handicap needs. Each of the rooms sleep either 2 or 4 adults, and if you have 4 adults, you can also have 1 kid, again under the age of 3, in a crib, and you can request a crib when you check in. You can also request a cot. So if you have, like, 2 adults and 2 kids, and the 2 kids just don't want to share a bed, you can also request a cot, and they'll allow that in the room as well.
So okay, I know that you're doing rooms, but I'm trying to think, what are the big, and they're set up in different sections. Toy Story, Have we talked about, like, what are the statues that are standing out of these areas?
Yeah, there's a ton of them, and I didn't write them all down.
I know, I should have.
Yeah.
The Mighty Ducks one is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ducks one's cool. I know there's big cowboy boots. There's all kinds of different ones. But as far as which one matches up to what,
There's
I
one
can't
from
remember.
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, that's what she was just saying.
Oh.
Yeah, the one from Toy Story, I remember I took a picture of it because when we went on that fam trip, we stayed over there, and I was walking around the resort before I could check in, and I took a picture of the Toy Story area because it was really cute. Like, those things are awesome.
Aren't they, like, lined up in a flying V or something? Some players like this?
The Mighty Ducks ones?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
It might be. Yeah, all those giant icons are really cool. I mean, they're huge.
It's a ongoing theme with the value resorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of them.
Yes.
All the ones we're
All of
covering
the
today
value resorts.
have, like, what are they? 3-story tall statues of what the area is themed to. I don't know the All-Star statues as well as I know, like, Art of Animation and Pop Century, because I've stayed there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things I keep saying. I just want to go to All-Stars one day and roam around between all 3 of them.
Yeah. All right, so that'll wrap it up with rooms. Brett, what do you got for amenities at the movies, sir?
Pretty much the same thing. Pools, jogging trails, playgrounds, arcades. For the pools, they got Fantasia pool, which is inspired by the Fantasia movie. So there's a big Sorcerer Mickey statue in the middle. Yeah. And then they got the Duck Pond pool, which is a pool based off the Mighty Ducks movie. I don't think there's any statues. Well, they got the one, like, big duck face guard.
The mask.
Kind of next to it. But that might be a part of the rooms. Then you got the movies under the stars, where you can watch movies at the hotel. Then the jogging trail is a 1-mile jog around the resort. The playground is themed to Fantasia and Toy Story.
Yeah.
And the arcade has, like, pinball machines. movie games like Tron, Pac-Man, kind of the same things about movies.
Right on.
And that's about it.
Sir, what do you got for... I know you got just a buttload of information about transportation.
I'm just gonna tell you about movies and sports right now because it's the same thing as music. Like, it's just literally each All-Star Resort has the one bus stop located outside their main building. The main building in front of movies is called Cinema Hall, and the main building in front of sports is the Stadium Hall. So that's where your bus will pick you up. Some fun stuff.
And if you're waiting on your bus, you can go for a nice little jog around that track.
Sure.
You know?
If it's going to take if there's a really long line, you can be like, wait here, hold my spot, I'm going to go take a jog.
I gotta go take a jog ski.
I got a lot more to talk about at Pop and Art of Animation.
I know, me too. Like, those are my two. All-Star, I know. All-Stars, I'm just like... I was always really uninterested in the All-Stars. The statues were the coolest thing for me, always. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, alright, we'll get all of that. We'll get to that. Okay, so I'm in charge of food. And at the All-Star Movie Resort, it's called... The name of the food court is called World Premiere. And it's like Brian said, you know, the layout for the rooms was pretty much the same layout for me for the food court. They almost look identical. It's the same as the music. It's quick service. It's open from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. It's on the Disney dining plan for your quick service and snack credits, and it's on the Tables of Wonderland. And your different food options are at different kiosks throughout the food court. It's almost identical to the other menu, except they have a few little different items, nothing too crazy. So you still have all your different breakfast items, your Mickey-shaped waffles, your breakfast potatoes, your eggs, your bacon. Breakfast potatoes at Disney favorite. Are so good. You still got, you know, all your normal breakfast stuff, lunch stuff. Lunch and dinner is pretty much the same. Now, this is one thing that I noticed looking at all the different menus, is that they have some special alcoholic drinks at the Movies Resort.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, so... what you...
I just
quit leaning and looking.
Look.
Give me some space. Okay, she keeps doing this.
I want to look. You're like holding it sideways.
That's why I'm doing that on purpose.
We'll hand it over after you're done.
I will. Okay. So, one of the alcoholic drinks is called the Curtain Call. And it's a chocolate milkshake with candied bacon and Knob Creek bourbon.
Ooh.
It's $11.50.
That sounds good.
That sounds
good.
delicious.
It sounds like that drink that Barbara and I had at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Do they have non-alcoholic drinks?
Yeah, you can get a iced coffee, Brett.
Wow.
I'm sure you can get the milkshake without it.
Or a nice Coca-Cola.
There you go.
Okay, so they got another drink called the Velvet Ropes. And are you guys understanding the theme name of the drinks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Velvet Ropes it's a vanilla milkshake with strawberries, sprinkles, and Frangelico. And it's $11.50. That sounds... I think it sounds good. It sounds really sweet.
Yeah, it does.
But it sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's see. And yeah, that was kind of the craziest of the menu items. So, and then I'm sure also next to the big Sorcerer's Apprentice pool that they have a bar and that you can get, you know, all your cocktails and beverages from there. And also one thing that I want to point out, and I didn't point it out at the music resort, is that at all the food courts, if there's a food court at at any of the resorts, you're going to be able to buy a refillable mug for yourself to refill every day. And a refillable mug you're looking at around $17.99 for a refillable mug. And I don't have the exact details, but can't you buy it for the length of your stay? But it's still $17.99.
Yeah.
Even if you stay for 10 days, it's $17.99.
Yeah, and there is a limit of number of days too. It's I want to say it's like 14 or something along in there.
Jeez,
But
who's gonna be there
yes,
for
but whether you
14
want it for
days?
1 day or 2 weeks, it's the same price.
Oh, okay. But yeah, as far as food goes, it's pretty much it. I mean, you know, there's a couple different items. Excuse me, but nothing like crazy. So
Yeah, they got a Reuben burger. That sounds pretty interesting.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Corned beef and sauerkraut and Swiss cheese.
Oh, another thing I do want to mention. I know the four of us here know this from going to the resort. Well, going to Disney enough to the different resorts is that a lot of the menus are like staple items that are always going to be there. But they do have a revolving menu of like weird things that they'll bring in, and once we get to Pop Century, you'll notice one, for instance, that you can only get there. A couple things that you can only get there. So that's all I got. So I guess we'll move on to the sports.
All right. Basically, the sports they're identical to the other All-Stars as far as the rooms. The only difference is the theming is a little bit different. And here in your 5 themes, you have tennis, football, baseball, basketball, and surfing. About the only really difference is some of the theming in the rooms a little bit different. The light fixtures are themed towards microphones and some stars again. It's mainly in the little details and the pictures on the walls. But other than that, the room layouts are the same. Same bed, same TV. Still got the little mini fridge. So, that it.
I'm gonna put you on the spot again. Do you remember what any of the statues are?
No.
All right, yeah.
I can't remember.
Don't they have like a foosball area?
Yeah.
That are like
I think
big
they do.
foosball.
All right, that one's at Pop.
Or what do you?
I
Oh,
think.
Yeah.
Foosball's
Yeah.
at Pop. Yeah.
That's right.
There's no football music.
They have the like football area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't remember.
I know there's one section that has like because I remember seeing a video during a hurricane or something. There's like a baseball field. It's just the open. It's like a little mini baseball
Yeah,
field.
it's like a baseball field, and then the buildings have like baseball bats like on the X.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they got those big football helmets in
Mhm.
between like the football field.
Okay, cool. Brett, amenities, go.
All right, they got 2 pools. It's called the Surf's Up pool. It's a swimming pool design, kind of like a surfboard. Makes you feel like you're at the beach. The umbrellas are like beach umbrellas. Then you got the Grand Slam pool, which is shaped like a baseball diamond. And there's a man, like a statue in the middle, and it's Goofy on a pitcher's mound holding a bucket, and there's like steaming hot water in it, and he's shooting, like throwing that at the people in the pool.
That's awesome. But
Then there's another jogging trail. What'd you say?
the main pool is the surfboard one, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's the jogging trail, which is another 1 mile trail around the resort. Then you got Movies Under the Stars, where you can watch a movie at night. Then you got the playground, which is themed to like baseball, football, and soccer. And the arcade is baseball games, football games, like the older versions on like arcade games on the inside. And the ground has like soccer fields, baseball fields, and baseball fields on the carpet.
Right on.
That's about it.
Sarah?
Oh, I already said where the stadium hall is where you catch the bus at All Star Sports.
Man, I'm telling you, the research you did is ridiculous. I bet you were
Hey,
up for
no,
hours.
I've got way. Trust me, I have way more stuff for pop
I got more stuff for art.
and art of animation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Food. So the name of the food court at the All Star Sports is the In Zone Food Court, and it's quick service. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Open from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. It's on the Disney dining plan. It's for it's your quick service and snack credits, and it's on Tables in Wonderland if you have a Tables in Wonderland card. Almost identical to the other 2 menus. Let's see. yes, I want to talk about. There's a couple things on here. One specifically. Make sure you're not creeping on me again. One specifically thing that I noticed, because this is sports themed, is that they have smoothies that you can buy that come with protein powder in them.
Of course.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
I never knew that.
So they have smoothies with protein powder, and you can get strawberry, banana, mango, or wild berry, and they're $6.49 a piece. And also they have sports slushies. I don't know what that means, but they have sports slushies. I'm assuming it's like probably slushy Powerade.
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking. Or Gatorade.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Nothing really like ridiculous on here, but I do want to point out there was a breakfast item and a lunch dinner item. So one of the weird breakfast items, I saw that. You need to watch her. So one of the breakfast items that I noticed that sound really good that they didn't have at either of the other two was a chicken biscuit.
Ooh.
It's a chicken biscuit with bacon, maple butter, and tater tots.
That sounds pretty good.
That does sound good.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
It's $9.49. And then on the lunch dinner menu, something that popped out to me, it was the New York strip steak. At the other two places, you couldn't get like a big type of steak, but they have a New York strip there for $13.99. And then another thing, excuse me?
It comes with a steak. Does it say?
No, it doesn't say.
Okay.
It doesn't say. I'm assuming it comes with choice of fries, salad, or... Okay, and then this is another thing that, because they're trying to stick with the theming of sports, they sell power salads. So a power salad is freshly tossed. They don't really explain what a power salad is. They just call it a power salad. And this is what it's called. A freshly tossed power salad with choice of grilled chicken or salmon for $11.49. So a regular Caesar salad with choice of chicken or salmon is $9.49. Add the word power in it, charge $2 more. Disney. It's Disney, man. Just add a word and you can charge $2 more.
Some other vegetables in there. Caesar salad's pretty plain.
No, they give it a power toss.
Power toss.
Yeah. They shake it extra hard, and they charge $2 for that extra shake. But that's what I got for food. So,
That's entertaining.
Okay, do we want to go over pros and cons for this, or wait to the end?
I think we should wait to the end.
All right, we'll wait for the end. All right, so we're all done with the. Man, I'm gonna be hoarse by the end of this. This is the most talking I've done in a long time. So we're wrapped up with all the All-Star resorts. So do we want to move on to Pop and then in with Art?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go to Pop Century next. Brian, I'm throwing it over to you.
All right. For Pop Century, Pop originally was supposed to be all of Pop plus Art of Animation. And then when 9/11 happened, the Art of Animation side was never built. Construction was halted. The Pop Century side was already done and open. So, the first section of Pop opened December 14th, 2003. And that was the classic years. The other half was supposed to be called the legendary years, but was never built. But for the Pop Century side, there's 2,880 rooms in 10 buildings. And each of those 10 buildings are 4 stories tall, whereas the other All-Stars are only 3 stories tall. The sections are divided up by years. So the 1950s section the icon of that is the bowling pin. Those are basically what your stairwells are on each of the ends of the buildings. Your 1960s is yo-yo, 1970s is an 8-track tape, 1980s is the Rubik's Cube, and 1990s is a cell phone. As far as the rooms, the occupancy is about the same. The maximum is 4. Again, 2 people in a king room, and then you can also have the crib with the child under the age of 3. The room size is 260 square feet. And now, as far as Pop, this is where your real change is, because Pop's in the middle of a refurb. So I think they're a little over halfway done as of now. The old rooms are basically just like the All-Stars, same size. The old rooms had carpet. single sink, your basic things. It had the mini fridge in it, but other than that, it was pretty basic. The new rooms at Pop, though, they've really done a good job upgrading them. They've switched over, and you actually have queen beds. One of them is an actual bed that's down all the time, and the other one is a trundle Murphy bed type thing that folds out of the wall. So during the day, if you fold it up, it does give you a lot more floor space. But other than that, you still got your mini fridge, but they've actually added coffee makers in the room, and they've got a nice little counter area for that. The TV, they've upgraded the TVs in the new Pop rooms. I'm not sure the exact size, but it's somewhere in the 40-some inch range. It's a pretty big TV. Storage, you've got a lot more storage in the room, drawers. There's a lot of shelves. Moving into the bathroom, they've actually got the sink. They've kind of made the sink area smaller, but they've added a lot of storage around it. You've got drawers. You've got some other storage area. You've got some cabinet drawers. They've really increased the storage overall in the room, and it really works a lot better. They have taken the curtain that they used to use to divide the rooms. They've taken that out, and they've added a barn door, which does work better. It blocks all the light, and it does cut down on the sound too. Other than that, bathroom, it's got your same bathroom design, shower and a toilet in a separate room, and that also has a barn door, which saves some bathroom floor space. Mm-hmm. So, but the showers are nicer. They've got like a rain shower type thing in there, which is a lot nicer than the old rooms.
Nice.
But the room in general is just really sleek, really clean. So
I know that we haven't stayed in the newer rooms.
Yeah, because when we went, we got one of the older rooms.
Well, but we've stayed there so many times.
Yeah.
And but I've always liked the Pop Century rooms.
Yeah.
I've never really been disappointed. Other than,
I think that the whole bathroom, like the shade or whatever, that sounds a lot nicer. Those things are so loud, like those old curtains, like when you pull them across.
Yeah.
Well,
now the actual barn door between like where the beds are and the sink is not that loud. The bathroom pocket door that they've got, I feel like you can hear those slamming from like 5 rooms away.
You can hear everything.
They are louder. That is one of the things I think of the new Pop rooms is they're louder.
You can hear that. You can hear the toilet.
Yeah, you don't hear. I don't think the carpet is there to knock down, but you can hear like the toilet seats, like Brett said. When people drop the toilet seat in the room next to you, or even a couple rooms, I feel like you hear it. So
wow.
Yeah, all night long.
Yeah, anything that somebody drops on the floor or the room above you, I feel like you hear. But then again, you're so tired at the end of the night.
I mean, it's kind of hard to sleep if you got Billy next door slamming the toilet seat.
All right, Mr. Brett, what do you got for amenities at the old Pop?
All right, their feature pool is the Hippy Dippy Pool. It's far out, flower-shaped pool. It's got water jets. It's like a lazy pool. Then you got the bowling pool. It's shaped like a bowling pin. It's kind of got like a white and red stripe going down the middle, like a bowling pin does. Mm-hmm. Then you got, I don't know the name of it. Oh, you got the floppy disk pool, which is a pool,
rectangle.
And on the outside it's got the keyboards, and it's got the computer right in the front.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about that one. Then the fast forward arcade, which has old and new games in it, like old Pac-Man, and they got newer games in it now. Then the playground is a kind of an old theme playground, got like 70s playground stuff in it. It's kind of like painted up like 70s colors. Then the jogging trail is another mile. Is a 1 mile jogging trail around the resort. And then you can do movies under the stars. And they tell you what movies are playing, and lots about it. That's it.
Well, hold on now. You're forgetting the ping pong.
Oh yeah, can't forget the ping pong. There's a ping pong table right outside of the Hippy Dippy Pool.
Yeah. Now, okay, going along with the room amenities, or not so much room amenities, but resort amenities here for this particular hotel being a Pop Century. I think most of us here can think of what most of the statues are. These 3-story tall statues. There's Baloo and Mowgli. There's Roger Rabbit.
Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, Lady and the Tramp. Is Rex one of them? No?
No, it's Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head.
That's it. Mr. and Miss Potato Head.
Yeah. There's a giant Walkman on one of them.
Yeah.
That's on the 80s building.
There's Big
There's that
Duncan
big
Yo-Yos.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big giant Mickey Mouse telephone.
Oh, yeah. Then there's Goofy with the 68 Corvette. When you're going
Well, that's where the old splash pad used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm talking about like the big ones. There's a big wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
What's the big... it's not... It's just like... Is there a computer over in the 90s section, like on the ground?
Yeah, Brett talked about it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was the pool. There's a pool in
okay.
front of the keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's like a computer screen where the one icon would be on the building, and then you've got the swimming pool and then the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I always thought it would be neat if they took that screen off and actually put like a Jumbotron type screen up there that actually changed.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh,
They could play the top 10 with Stacy.
Yeah. Okay, so Sarah, I know you had a lot.
I do. I have a lot more.
I'm ready.
For Pop Century.
Everybody's waiting for you.
All right, so at Pop Century, it's the same as all the other resorts, like I said, with the Disney Magical Express. Like, you can go to and from your resort from the airport without paying for it. You know, it's already included. There's one main bus stop in front of Pop Century. It's outside Classic Hall, which is that main front building. I always notice that the Pop Century bus line is always freakishly long. Like, every time we've stayed there, it's been crazy.
I agree.
Alright, so, something that just started a while ago, and Pop Century is actually the only, value resort you can get this at, is the minibus. So, the minibus started. If you don't want to wait for a bus or any other kind of transportation, you can take the minivan service. It works with a Lyft app, and it can accommodate ECVs, wheelchairs, and motorized vehicles. Up to 6 guests, and it is also equipped with 2 car seats if needed, and the cost is $25 per trip. And it operates from 6:30 a.m. until 12:30 a.m. daily. So that is something you can get at Pop Century that you can't get at the other 2 values. Even though if you're staying at Art of Animation, you could just walk over to Pop Century. It's so close. Also, the Skyliner is under construction, so that will also be a transportation option in the future if you are going to Hollywood Studios or Epcot. And I'm really excited about the Skyliner. I think it's going to be super cool, and like they'll have different characters on the side, like Goofy, the Hitchhiking Ghost, Minnie and Mickey. And then also, if you just so happen to want to go to Caribbean Beach, you can go there. And then the new resort, the Riviera Resort. And supposedly it's supposed to be open in late 2018. They don't have like an exact date for it, but under construction. And I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah?
Because you're in charge of transportation?
Yes.
Okay, I have a question. What if I'm staying at Pop Century and I have a car? I do have a car, but I don't want to take my car. I want to get an Uber and take the Uber to Universal Studios. Am I able to do that?
I think you used to be able to. Actually, I'm pretty sure you still can at the resorts, but you can't at the parks. Like, you can't get an Uber to the parks anymore. Like, I think you can only get the minivan. Is that right?
I think you can still Uber there.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only upside, supposedly, on the parks anyway, with the minivan is instead of them dropping you off, like Uber has to drop you off at the transportation center. So you still have to take either the monorail or the boat. The minivan supposedly drops you off right at the bus stop.
Yeah.
So you avoid that extra.
Where the cops
Yeah, they're not
sit, or
gonna-
at the actual bus stop?
Not allow an Uber to come to the resort if you want to go to Universal.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was my question. Okay.
I mean, the minivans, it's pretty. I think it's pretty expensive. $25 because, you know, you and I took Ubers this last trip because of rain and stuff like that. We didn't want to wait for the bus, and it was not expensive at all.
Oh my god, it was so cheap.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Oh, it was worth it. So worth it.
So yeah, Pop Century is going to have a lot of different. I mean, they have way more than All Star as far as transportation options.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Skyliner is going to be huge for, especially like if you stay there and you're going to go to Epcot that night. You know, you've got the food court at Pop Century or Art of Animation to choose from, but then that also, you could go to the Caribbean and eat dinner on the way to Epcot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to go there and transfer anyway, so...
I think it's just going to be I don't know.
Yeah, the
I'm
Caribbean
scared of
Beach is like the main hub for the Skyliner. And then, I mean, who knows what the new resort is going to be like, so that'd be cool to check out.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I don't know how long the rides are, but, you know, it's something different and cool.
Yeah, I think the views at nighttime, I mean, especially if you can catch it when the fireworks are going off somewhere, are going to be good. But even at night, after the park closes, coming back,
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be neat to be able to see.
You know, ain't nobody going to be staying up on the way back from the park at night. They're going to be knocked out in the seats.
You might be.
I am every night.
Brian and I will be glued to the side of the thing. Oh, look,
Yeah.
look.
Looking out.
Keep going.
All right, so let's go on to food. I know. We all like the food here at Pop. Okay, so at Pop Century, and everybody chime in once we get to food. If you have one of your favorites, talk about it. The name of the quick service at Pop Century is called Everything Pop. It's the same. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's open from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. They accept the Disney dining plan. It's a quick service or snack credit. And they accept the Tables in Wonderland card. It's set up in 5 different stations. Inside, there's a bakery, a grab-and-go market, a grill, an ethnic station, and a pasta pizza area. Let's see. Oh, another thing. This is one thing that I did want to point out is that specific to Pop Century food court is that it's next to the pizza pasta section. They have special meals nightly, and it's called Mom's Special Meal or something. Mom's Takeout Meal.
Mom's Night Out.
Mom's Night Out. And it's like a tuna casserole, or it's something like a classic dish.
Ooh, I like
that they serve, and they change it up all the time. But it's pretty basic. The menu, it's still got your Mickey shaped waffles, chocolate chip pancakes, breakfast potatoes, eggs, bacon. Let's see here. But for breakfast, one of the menu items, and I want to get the name right, and I'm not going to, is the and somebody help me out here, is the Pop-Tart breakfast sandwich.
Yeah.
And so it's 2 Pop-Tarts. They're 2 cherry or strawberry Pop-Tarts. And what's inside of it?
I think like sausage and egg or something.
Yeah.
And cheese.
Yeah. I'm not real sure. I've never had it,
No,
but I've always seen it.
Weird.
Oh, I never had this.
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah.
I just could not remember. Off the top of my head, I was like, no, I'll remember it. And it's me, and I forget everything. And I didn't remember it. But, go ahead.
The Mom's Night Out things, getting back to that one, they used to have, I feel like years ago, they used to have more, it's like every night of the week there was something different. And they had it on the board, so you would know at the beginning of the week, you know, what was coming up. And they actually served them in like 10 trays that looked like TV dinners.
Is it like a special thing, or is it like plastered on the menu?
Well, now it's not like a secret menu item.
Oh.
It's on the regular menu.
It's a revolving menu, though.
Right. But I don't feel like now they have the selection as much as they... I feel like our last trip, they had like the same Mom's Night Out thing for a couple of nights in a row. Whereas it used to be every night there was something completely different.
some of the menu items that stuck out. They have a Benedict burger, and that's it's got Canadian bacon, a fried egg, and hollandaise sauce. What else? They got. Oh, I know us. Whenever we go there, we go straight to the pizza pasta section because you usually get back to your resort. We always try and time it right before the food court closes. And we always make it to the pizza pasta section because there will be lines of people waiting and ordering like full-on pizzas to take back to their room at like 12 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So
The
we'll
pasta
always go
is
there.
Pretty freaking
Yeah,
good.
we get the pasta. So we'll get like a chicken parmesan or like a fettuccine alfredo, and the breadsticks there
my
are
gosh.
so good. But we'll just like eat all these carbs before going to bed, cram in your face. But that's one of our favorite things to do. And then also, I didn't have it down on here, but I did talk about it in I think one of our last podcasts. Was that they have a dessert here at the Pop Century, and you can only get it at Pop Century. We all know what it is. It's the tie-dye cheesecake. So.
Yes.
The tie-dye cheesecake, it's just a slice of cheesecake, your typical cheesecake, but it's tie-dyed to go with the whole theming of, 60s, 70s, whatever. But yeah, their specialty dessert is the tie-dyed cheesecake.
Do they still have the king cupcake there too?
I couldn't tell you that off the top of my head. But
I remember I got it and it was good.
I know all the resorts, and thanks for reminding me, all the resorts do have a resort-specific cupcake.
Yeah.
I just couldn't figure out which resort was what, so I just kind of was like,
Yeah, I mean, I know that I had that king. That was a long time ago. I know that my favorite thing at the Pop Century food court is they have a grilled mahi sandwich that's really good. I like fish sandwiches, and it's a blackened seafood sandwich, which I think is delicious. And they also have mussels, which is really weird.
Yeah, the Pop food court just got so many choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like at breakfast, I feel like, and comparing it to Port Orleans, because I know we stay there a lot, so I kind of know what the menu is. Like the breakfast platter at Port Orleans is pretty much one choice. It's one setup. Whereas at Pop Century, you can get it at different windows, and it'll come with different things. So you can get the bounty platter at one window and get waffles, but if you go to the other one, you can get it with pancakes.
Yeah.
And I've had that Benedict egg burger before.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Ooh, it sounds really good.
I didn't have it with the sauce.
Yeah, I think you asked for without
the sauce, but it was really good. Like, I really want to get another one.
Then they had I saw they had fried chicken for breakfast in the morning.
Breakfast,
That
yeah.
sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Hearty.
It's just hard
breakfast.
to pass up a nice Mickey waffle.
I know for you.
It's so good.
I'm a savory breakfast eater. Like I can't do every now and then I like waffles and pancakes, but I go for savory breakfast.
I know what you mean.
Breakfast potatoes, that's my jam. I could eat that every day.
That's why I like the bounty platter there, because it'll come with like one of the little Mickey waffles. So you get a little bit of that waffle, but you can still get the bounty platter at the same time.
I wish I could take some of them waffles home with me. Like cook them at the house.
All right, so that'll do it for Pop Century. Now let's move on to our last value resort for this episode, and we're going to go to Art Animation. So, Brian, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
All right, now back over to Art Animation. So, the Family Suites opened, and again, this is the other half of what was originally going to be part of Pop Century. So, the Family Suites opened May 31st, 2012, and the Finding Nemo section was the first section to open. Then after that, Cars opened on June 18th, Lion King was August 10th, and then finishing up the standard rooms were September 15th, and that was the Little Mermaid section. These buildings are all 4-story buildings, just like Pop. And like I said, we've got the 4 sections, Finding Nemo, Cars, and Lion King, and those are the ones that have your family suites. Those also have interior hallways, which are different than any of the other value resorts. The Little Mermaid section, it's literally just another Pop Century section, and it has the exterior walkways. It's also the farthest from the food court and the buses. It seems like it's a long way out there. There's still 10 buildings, 1,984 rooms total. 1,120 of those rooms are the family suites, which can sleep up to 6 people, and they're 565 square feet. 864 of those rooms are the standard value resort layout. And the thing I found interesting is they're supposedly 277 square feet, which the other ones are 260. So I'm not sure how that extra size came in when it was actually a Pop Century. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But
is it the newness that makes it?
I don't know. I don't know how they gained that extra, unless they did it somehow with that back bathroom wall, moving it back. I'm not sure. But the rooms at Art Animation, they've put in a lot more details than any of the other values. Each has elements from the movie that they feature in their section. So, for example, the Nemo rooms have a chair that's shaped like coral, light fixtures that look like bubbles. The bathrooms have a submarine theme, and they even use like a porthole for the mirror.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, and then Cars section, each of them has their different themes, but the Cars section, something I thought was cool was they use tool chests for the actual drawers.
That's cool.
But the family suites are in the Cars section, the Nemo, and the Lion King. They sleep up to 6 people. They also have a little small kitchenette. They have 2 bathrooms, a master bedroom, and actually are in 3 separate sleeping areas.
One thing...
So,
yeah, one thing that is really cool is that if it was me, this is my opinion, and your guys' opinions could be completely different, but I think that if you're a first-timer Disney, go to, and you want to stay at a value, stay at Pop Century. Walk the premise, check it all out, and then remember all the statues, and then the next time, go to Art of Animation and see how much it's evolved.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
yep.
The statues, the theming, it's just like, once you go to Art of Animation compared to right on the other side of that lake, that bridge, it is just gone berserk. The theming is nuts. It's amazing what they did.
Yeah, even down to the plants. I mean, even the plants they used in the common areas look like something you would see underwater.
Yeah.
I mean, even though, you're just walking around, it's plants. They look like...
Even like in Cars Land, there's cactus and hay balls.
Yeah, there's definitely a progression between the All-Stars and Pop, but it's even really more so between Pop and Art Animation.
Absolutely. Okay, so there's how many? 4 sections?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the sections is Little Mermaid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And We've always wanted to stay there. We never have.
And so what are the statues outside of Little Mermaid?
They've got the big Ursula, Ariel. They got that King Triton, and then they also have that like little Eric one. It's not huge, but they have the Eric statue out in the middle.
But from what I remember, whenever you and I were there taking pictures, the Ursula statue.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's so intimidating because it's so freaking big, and her tentacles are out. It's just it's nuts. Okay, so what's the next section?
Nemo.
Nemo.
They've got the Crush.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then whatever the Stingray guy's name is. What's his name? Ray.
Yeah.
But then they like the Nemo section has like that really cool pool. So.
Yeah. That the pool kind of wraps around all through the center of that Nemo section.
The Cars one's probably the coolest.
Yeah, Cars is. Lion King is cool, but I feel like Lion King is the smallest of the
it is.
themed areas.
Well, yeah, they don't have a pool over there, and it's just really like it feels enclosed when you're walking.
It's
over
like
there.
one walkway, and it's just the 2 big buildings.
Yeah.
And statues above you.
But that one where they're all walking across the log is really cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they have him up on Pride Rock, that statue.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have Scar with the hyenas.
Yeah. And Rafiki is out there. I mean, almost all the characters. But yeah, the Cars section I think the Cars section is the coolest too.
The Cars section is almost like a mini version of California Adventure. Yeah.
You just want to go sit in them.
Yeah, because doesn't that the pool section don't they have the cones that have little cabanas in them or something?
Yep.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
And then they have all those cars. Every time I walk over there, the part that has the cars on it, it's like that squishy ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why don't they put this all over the resort? Like,
so comfortable.
everywhere.
You could almost walk barefoot on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do we want to go to amenities now?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Brett. Take the floor.
All right, they got 2 pools. They got the big blue pool, which is themed around Nemo, and if you go underwater, you can hear Nemo, Crush, and Dory. And what's his dad's name? Marlin. Marlin talking underwater. And that's the biggest pool on Disney property. And then you got the Cozy Cone pool, which is themed around cars and Sally's Motel. 2 of the cones are rented cabanas, but the other 4 are first grab, first see.
Interesting.
And
I've never heard it put that way. First grab, first see. It's the first time I've ever heard that before.
then you got the arcade, which is called the Pixel Arcade, which has your typical movie arcade games. Then you got the playground, which is located next to the Nemo courtyard, and it's themed to rusted away boat metal underwater. Then the jogging trail, which is the longest out of all of them, is 1.38 miles around the whole hotel.
1 point.
Then you have
1.38.
Yeah. Then your movies under the stars, you can watch movies around the hotel at night, and they're always in different areas or sections. And they could either be in Lion King, Nemo, or Ariel.
That's weird that they show them in the Lion King section.
Yeah, that is
Where
weird.
do they put them over there?
Yeah.
You know, when you walk in and there's the rock where Simba's standing on top of,
Yeah.
Mhm.
there's another big, tall rock.
They have Simba holding up the sheet.
No, there's another big, tall rock like in front of the steps, and they put the blow-up movie screen right there, and you sit in the grass and watch it.
Huh.
You just see like the Simba's dad dying scene on repeat.
Oh my
That's all they
gosh.
play.
I mean, so I haven't been over there in a few years, but I love that, like, especially in those areas at Art of Animation, the foliage is
Oh, yeah.
supposed to look like that area, like, you know, where you
Yeah.
are,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is pretty neat. And speaking of cool things, I know we're going to talk about food, and it's not really food, but it's in the entrance area, that super cool chandelier. Like, when
Oh,
you
yeah.
walk in, it has all the, like, spikes coming off of it with, like, the, what are those called?
Animation cells.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on them.
Mm-hmm.
That's really
I like the front lobby when you walk in behind the check-in desk, that color wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's just a cool resort.
Well, why don't we go into transportation?
Okay.
We got so much to talk about.
I mean, just so much. Art of Animation transportation is almost just like Pop Century. There's one bus stop outside Animation Hall, the main building, and then also you will soon be able to take the Skyliner. You can't do the minivan there, which I don't understand why you can do it at Pop but not at Art of Animation. That doesn't make sense to me. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pretty simple. Not a whole lot of transportation options. That's it. A bus, and then soon to be Skyliner. And if you want to take the minivan, you can walk over to Pop.
Or you can walk for 1.38 miles around.
But I wonder,
38.
as far as the
38 miles.
minivan, because apparently to use the minivans, they have to enable something in your Lyft app on your phone.
Oh, really?
And you have to get it done at the front desk. So I wonder if you're staying at Pop, they'll do it. But if you're staying at Art Animation, you wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, that's
Ooh,
interesting.
I don't know. That would be interesting to find out.
that's
Last
true.
summer when I walked over there and I tried to walk through all of the places, it took me like forever to get to Ariel. Because I started from Hourglass Lake. It took a long time. So I went through all the rooms.
Should you have taken a minivan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have took a minivan.
Yeah, it's all the way down the far end.
Well, all the
It is way out
workers,
there.
none of the workers were walking. They would all fly by me on golf carts. I swear one of them looked at me and smiled when he went by. He was laughing at me, so I was walking.
He's just shuffling around in his Ugg boots.
Yeah, it was the Ugg boots.
Shuffle.
They should
You
have.
probably didn't really walk that far. You just couldn't feel it.
Yeah, it was the cushion.
I did kind of spend a while in cars, just standing next to the car.
It's just cool to look at, though. That old cars area,
Yeah.
going back to it, it's gorgeous.
It
It's
is,
so
it's awesome.
detailed.
Like even when you walk in the hotel, like the hallways, they're really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like the peepholes, they're like little tires on cars.
Oh, that's actually another interesting thing. Maybe I was just not listening, but you mention that, Brian, how at the Art of Animation you go inside instead of the room entries being on the outside
Yeah.
of the building?
Which
think
is
that's
neat.
Nice.
I kind of like it in one way, but then again, I feel like when you walk through art animation, there's like nobody outside.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
you've got all the really highly detailed areas, but there's nobody out there looking at it.
Yeah, that's true. It's
A
kind of weird.
ghost town.
Where you're so used to Pop Century, whenever you walk outside your room, you see people walking around everywhere. It's
Right.
nice to see people out there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, even at the moderate resorts, like, the room entries are on the outside.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty weird.
All right, moving on to food. Yeah.
Love food.
And like I said, everybody chime in whenever you can, or if you want to. So the name of the food court here at Art of Animation is called the Landscape of Flavors, and it literally is, compared to all the other values, a landscape of flavors. It's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Open from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. They accept quick service. It's a quick service credit or a snack credit. And they have different sections of different types of food that you can order. And one thing going over the whole menu that I noticed, and even whenever we went over there just to kind of peruse and check out all the food when we went there are so many healthy options here. It's insane, as opposed to like the typical value resorts where it's your burgers, pasta, burger, except burgers twice. Burgers, pasta, pizza, hot dogs. You know, your regular stuff that you're used to getting. Here, they have such an eclectic menu. For breakfast, they have a steak and egg burger. They have egg white frittata. World Flavors breakfast platter. There's a lot of Indian food here. As well. Like, for instance, they have a saffron seafood pasta, Mongolian grilled fish, spinach and paneer cheese snack. What else? Snack. Curry chicken, create your own pasta, but that's pretty much all of them. But yeah, it's a pretty eclectic menu. Tandoori boneless chicken thighs, not breasts, thighs.
This all sounds really good.
I know,
You're
it does
making me
sound
hungry.
Well, you're always hungry.
What?
I mean, they got your Mickey waffles and stuff. Anything else sticking out? Nothing else really. Whole wheat pasta. But, yeah, that's nothing
That stuck
crazy.
out.
A little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a pretty eclectic menu. And one thing that I remember is that they had a gelato section.
Yeah.
And it looks so good. And it's so... The theming inside of the food court is so clean. It's like really clean and well... It's tight and put together. As opposed to the other food courts, it's kind of like... You can tell they've been there for a while and they all kind of are of design. This is of its own, I think. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
One thing that is confusing to people there, though, is because they have the actual dishes and silverware, and everybody's used to just tossing everything at Disney. It does get... The first time you go in there, it's confusing
Don't throw it
to
away.
not throw these plates away.
Every time we eat there, I end up throwing away at least one fork. They lose a fork every time I'm eating there.
But it's just different. But it is nice to have the actual silverware.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think... do you have any more input on the food?
No, I mean, we've never actually eaten there. We just walked over there and walked around. But I've always wanted.
I know we wanted to
try
eat
the
there, we
food.
just didn't.
Yeah. I feel like everything there is like a little bit step above. Even like the breakfast platter. Just about everywhere the sausages are pretty much the same, but there it's like the sausages are bigger and they tasted better. I don't know what it was about them, but they were different. They were good.
It doesn't seem as loud in there either, like compared to Pop.
Might be the way the building is. Like,
Yeah, or it could have been even the time of day because I don't feel like we go there
What do we
We went there odd times.
Well, like, I think the ceiling, I mean, if I can remember, the ceiling is a little bit lower than, like, those other ones. Like, if the ceiling is so high, like, the sound just, like, echoes and carries everywhere. But the seating areas are really pretty over there.
Well, that's all I have for food. And has anybody else got anything about art and animation? Okay.
No.
Well, then, why don't you start us off, Sarah, with pros and cons, if we all want to go over our pros and cons of value resorts in general.
Okay.
Right? Okay, why don't you start?
Okay, so, sorry for the quick yawn. I'll do All-Stars first. The pros of All-Star, I think, it has the best value, so you're going to get a really great price. If you're not going to be in your room that much, then there's no better place to stay than the All-Star. And there's really fun theming, just like that carries across to all of the value resorts. I think the theming is really fun for kids, especially if you have little kids. The cons, it's very loud at All-Star. There's so many guests that it makes the food court and the bus stops seem crowded, and the rooms are smaller than all of the other values.
I agree.
Anybody have any pros or cons to add on to those?
No, you hit most of them.
Yeah. I mean, as far as All-Star goes, like, and I said it earlier, that's where because it is the cheapest.
Yeah.
That's where all your big, huge, large school groups go. So it's going to be loud.
Rates there, yeah.
And you could get stuck next to a room with, like, 4 middle school kids that have never been away from their parents and are going to stay up all night long. So just be prepared. Not to say it's going to happen, but it could happen. There's a good chance it'll happen.
Hey, and I'll say this, and not that anybody's ever going to do this, but don't ever leave anything outside your room. It will get stolen.
Yeah, because there's so many kids running around.
Yeah. Alright. So, go ahead.
I was saying the only other con I could think of for there is the shared buses.
Yeah.
I mean, that...
Yeah, that's definitely a con.
Go ahead.
Pop Century. The pros, I think, of Pop Century is they do have dedicated buses, so you're not going to another value resort. It has a fun theming. It has a really great food court, and it's fairly affordable. And it's a little step up from All-Star. The cons, still a little noisy because there's a lot of people, a lot of families, since it is a value resort, and it's very spread out. Like, if you get a building in, like, the 90s section, you're walking pretty far in the morning to, like, go eat breakfast and get to the buses and stuff. That's all I have for those.
I agree with all your pros and cons.
Okay.
You guys got anything to add to that?
The one thing I will say is I think is a pro at Pop is how they have the actual, like, a queue to get on the lines in the buses.
Yeah.
That is nice.
I mean, so you don't, some of the moderates, there are none, so it's like when the bus pulls up, it's like everybody for themselves, see who can get on first. At least there, you get in line and you don't have to fight to get on. You get on when you got there.
Can't the stretch buses go to Pop too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron and I are pretty brutal at the moderate resort.
Oh,
we'll see the bus come in and, like, go stand, like, right at the front.
And then the whole time you're getting the stink eye from, like, a mom with, like, 8 kids. You're like, hey, whoa, first come, first serve, babe.
Yeah, you're like, it's not my fault. You weren't paying attention to the bus that was coming up. Like, you can read the name from far away.
Yep.
Like,
and it's only 2 of us, so it's okay. I'm not... Disney World's a big place. You're not going to see me again. But... you'll end up seeing them again when you get on the bus to come back, and they'll be sitting next to you, still giving you the stink eye. Okay,
that's okay. We stand up for people that need to sit down.
Yeah, that's right.
So, even if we're the first people on the bus. Art of animation, pros I have are that it's the best food court of all of the values. They also have dedicated buses. They have really great pools, great theming in the pools. And then... it's the only value resort that has really nice, big family suites. They're a little pricey, but they're really well themed, and you can accommodate a lot of guests The cons, most expensive of the value resorts, and it's pretty spread out.
Mm-hmm.
So not too many cons.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
That's it.
One thing I'll say, and we didn't even talk about it, and this should have been something else. In fact, because you did transportation, there wasn't much talk about it. You should have done it, but we'll remember that for the next series that we do, is merchandise.
Oh, merchandise. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the gift shop.
Dang it.
One thing I'll point out, and I can't speak for the All-Stars, because I just don't know. You guys may have more knowledge than me. But I know that at Pop, because that's where we stay primarily, and I do know at Art Animation, because we saw it firsthand, is that they have great resort-specific merchandise. If you're looking for a Pop Century t-shirt or a magnet or a pin or a coffee cup or whatever, they're probably going to have it. And Art of Animation resort-specific merch, when we saw it, was freaking awesome. They had really nice embroidered Nike polo shirts. Just really nice merch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to talk about merchandise at the next resort.
Yeah, we will. But, yeah.
Whoever has transportation can add that onto theirs.
Sarah.
Okay, so I wrote this down since I'm talking about transportation. This doesn't really have anything to do with the values. I'm just going to talk about every single resort. This was it just came out this last week about all of the new parking fees that are going to start at the resort starting on March 21st. So all of the resorts will have a per night parking fee. Value resorts, it's $13 a night. Moderate is $19 a night, and deluxe is $24 a night. All fees are included, including tax in that. So those are like straight fees. And then you can get valet at deluxe and villas at select ones, and that's $33 a night. And then I don't know if this is obvious or not, but parking is still included as a complimentary service at the campsites, which just makes sense why you wouldn't charge an extra fee for parking at the campsites.
But that thing at the campsites though is only for RV sites. So like if you're renting a cabin, you still have to pay, even though the cabin has a driveway for each cabin that's yours.
So
you have to pay if you're going to park a car there, which makes no sense. So
yeah,
the same with the treehouse villas. The treehouse villas have their own driveway, but if you're going to park a car there, you have to pay for it.
That's insane.
So like, the treehouse villas are obviously considered deluxe, so that's $24 a night to park your car there. Yeah. That's just ridiculous.
To park your car on the driveway that's made onto the house that you're renting.
That's dumb.
I know that like Disney saw that they were losing money, and it was a gap to fill, so you have to start charging at some point, right? I mean, Universal's been doing it.
Yeah.
Universal does it.
In their mind, they're like, crap, we have to pay for Star Wars. We have to pay for the Star Wars hotel. We got to pay for all this
they
stuff.
Have the money. Iger needs to take his little...
I know.
A little pay cut, maybe, and it's ridiculous.
But I feel like at Universal, and a lot of hotels across the country that charge parking fees are charging fees because where they're located at, land is at a premium. When you look at Universal, they don't have tons of sprawling land to build parking lots. Whereas Disney has got plenty of space. I mean, you look at Pop Century. I don't care. Christmas week when we were there, one of the busier weeks, and the parking lot is half full.
Yeah.
Same thing at Riverside when we were there a couple years ago at Christmas. You go out on Christmas week, and the parking lot is half full. Now I can understand the parking fees at like the Polynesian or Contemporary.
Oh yeah,
because those lots, when we were there, it took me forever just going up and down the aisles just trying to find a single empty space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense to try to detour people from bringing either multiple cars or bringing a car at all. But at the hotels that there's plenty of space, I don't get it.
I know, and it's like, Universal's been doing it since the beginning. They've always had a parking fee, so you're just like, going in that they've always had that. It's just shocking that Disney...
But I feel like Universal, the parking lots are They're like a Polynesian. The parking lots are packed. And
They are.
They're parking's at a premium there.
Yeah. That's right. But yeah, I mean, that was one that I never kind of expected. It just happened all of a sudden, and now I'm just pissed about it.
Yeah, I didn't expect it either.
I didn't expect it at all because I didn't think about it.
I'm more curious of how the fees are gonna work. How are they gonna know who has a car, who doesn't have a car? Who's pulling in the lot?
The tag thing. But yeah, how are they gonna monitor that? They're gonna have to have security gates.
And, I was reading something. They said, well, when you scan your Magic Band coming through the security gate, they're going to know that you're coming in. Well, what if you're in an Uber and you scan your band to get through the gate?
Yeah.
How do they know that you're, or how do they know that somebody's actually driving a car in there and just saying that they're an Uber to park? Mm-hmm. How are they going to know that that car is actually there that night?
They don't make you scan your Magic Band if you're in an Uber. The Uber guy just said you're doing dinner. Oh.
They scan our bands every time.
I don't pay attention to that.
And I could see even installing like gates, but look at places like Port Orleans. You've got that road that goes all the way around.
Yeah.
And all those individual little parking, that's a ton of gates for them to put up, especially when it takes effect in just a couple weeks.
Isn't it like after April 13th or something?
Yeah, because what are they going to do at check-in? Oh, do you have a car? And then they're going to add it onto your fee?
Right.
How are they going to charge you for this?
But that's like the last 4 or 5 trips we've taken. I haven't even gone to the front desk.
Yeah.
I mean, they send you your room number, your Magic Bands work. There's no need to even go to the desk.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
They must have to be doing something when you drive on property, at that gate, which is going to be annoying because it's going to take that much longer to get on to onto your resort. When you're driving, especially if you're driving there, let's say Aaron and I are driving there, we've been driving for 23 hours. We don't want to wait. That's the last thing we want to do is take a 20-minute detour at the freaking gate trying to figure out parking fees.
Right.
So
it's going to be interesting to see. And what's even going to be more confusing is because it takes effect for reservations made after
March
20th of this month,
March 21st,
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I book a trip now for Christmas week, say, I won't have to pay the fees that week. But if somebody books a trip in a month from now for that same time period, technically they're supposed to have to pay the fees. So how are they going to know who is, when you pull up, whether you're supposed to be paying those fees, if your reservation was before that time or after that? It just seems like there's a lot of confusion.
No, it'll last. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, because I think I sent it. Did I send y'all that one tweet that I read? Somebody just picked up some random numbers. And it was like $250,000 a day for parking fees.
That's insane.
It did. It just doesn't make sense to me why they didn't just go because think of how many people don't actually bring a car. Why they didn't just raise the price of every resort $3 a night. That would have taken care of it. And nobody would have said anything. They would have been like, oh, sure, whatever. It went up $3 a night.
But what gets me is Magical Express is free. I mean, technically it's not free. I'm sure they've got the cost factored into your room stay. But there's an actual cost to that. They've got to pay for those buses. They've got to pay for the employees. They've got to pay for the space that they lease at the airport.
Yeah, but me personally driving my car down there doesn't cost them anything.
Right. It doesn't cost you anything. And you're going to park on a piece of asphalt that's been there since the resort was built.
Yeah.
That whether you're there or not, it's not going to cost them anything more. I mean,
it's just them nickel and diming everybody.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like if you were getting some type of service for it, if they were saying, look, we've got to build a parking garage at the Polynesian, so we're going to start charging resort fees to pay for it. Or there was something you were getting for that amount of money.
They should, so if you have to pay for parking, if you brought your own car, they should, offer you, a discount for, valet parking at the resorts or something like that. Yeah. Or not the resorts, at, the theme parks.
Yeah. Something that you feel like you're getting something for that amount.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, even if they came out and said, look, we're going to increase security in the parking lots because, whatever.
Well,
make you feel like you're getting something.
What about this? Now that they're starting to charge for you to park your car at your resort, right? How long is it going to be until resort guests who drive aren't even allowed to park free in the parks.
Oh, I don't think that'll... I think that's going to be, like, a long time.
Just saying. You never thought about that.
Or Disney Springs, like...
Or Disney Springs. When are they going to start charging for Disney Springs?
Yeah.
Because City Walk at Universal...
You have to...
It's like $17, $18 bucks or something, or $20.
It's the same parking garage as going to the parks, so...
Sure.
And I can see the parking fee at the parking garages because, I mean, I see people all the time online talking about it. They park there to avoid the pay at the park.
Oh, sure.
Because they're back to running buses straight from Disney Springs to the theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bad idea.
But that makes sense, though. Because how much does it cost to park at Magic Kingdom for a day?
Oh, like $20.
Yeah, that's like $20.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. If you're spending all this money on just getting into the parks and you got a family, $20 is a lot of money.
And then the parking fees are waived for anybody with like handicap plates or handicap tags.
Yeah.
So I just think this is just going to increase the number of people abusing the handicap tags, using fake tags and everything else to not have to pay.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Well,
is that all we got?
It is what it is. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, thanks for joining us again this week on Theme Parkers Podcast. This was series 1 of our resort series. But yeah, that'll do it for another episode. My name's Aaron, and you can find me on social media at Instagram at ThemeParkerAaron. Facebook, you can find all of us at Theme Parkers Podcast. You can email us at themeparkerspodcast@gmail.com. Sarah, where can we find you?
All of those same places, and on Instagram at ThemeParkerSarah.
Brian?
Twitter and Instagram at WDW and just Brian Skinner on Facebook.
Brett. Here we go.
Facebook at Brett Skinner. Instagram at Skipper Leaky Tiki. Twitter at Skipper Leaky.
Snapchat.
Snapchat at Trippy_Tiki.
You couldn't even remember the last one.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again real soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.